Welcome to part 19 of the 2018 NFL Draft in Review. Today we will be looking at the 2018 Washington Redskins draft and following two pretty much top-level drafts by the Cowboys and Eagles. You might be wondering, will the Redskins do just as well? And the answer to that is pretty firmly no. This draft pretty much only had one real impact player, which we'll look at first, of course, as with the 13th selection, Washington selected defensive tackle / nose tackle Daron Payne, and Payne has really been impressive to me in that I don't really see that many players of this position turning into pass rushers the way that he has, as he just put up an 11.5 sack season last year, which is obviously pretty damn good for the position. He usually picks up a fumble recovery just about every year as well. Usually doesn't do much in returning, but defensive tackles are not meant to do that. In terms of starting games, he has been the starter basically every game of his career except for a 6-game stretch in 2019. Overall, he has a lot of value in both, I would say, the run stopping and the pass rushing game now, as he had 18 tackles for loss to go with the sacks, and he had 20 quarterback hits on top of it. So he is definitely putting up impact for the Commanders defense now, and he definitely a good defensive piece to build around. Now, whether or not the Commanders can actually manage to get their shit together and get a quarterback so the offense catches up with the defense and they might actually be a good team as a result, that remains to be seen. But for now, we'll take a look at Daron Payne.
Defensive back blitz
coming around the middle.
Pounded near the pocket and then ripped down by Daron Payne. A career-high season in terms of sacks for Payne.
This is a solid sidestep move to beat two offensive linemen there.
Things on this offense. Trying to get the ball down.
Doesn't get around. Down goes the quarterback.
Daron Payne.
Goes around. I would say Goff could have evaded that, but just ends up spinning down. Kirk Cousins. He's just got moves that I don't expect to see from a defensive tackle. It's actually kind of making me wonder if he wouldn't be freaking just phenomenal coming off the edges. Good power and awareness displayed there in getting Justin Fields on the ground. But yes, overall, like I said, if he could maintain that, then he is going to have a pretty good couple of years now in the league, and Washington can definitely use that in terms of propelling themselves upwards, but it is Washington. They've had trouble capitalizing on these things before. We'll see what happens. So, next Washington selected running back Darius Goose, and I won't say that he's quite finished yet, but obviously he had a bit of a problem in terms of legal issues. He was accused of rape in college, basically, among some other charges that took place before that. So this is all cleared up, but we'll see if he comes back into the league, because I don't really know. But for the moment, though, he's going to be in the Indoor Football League, which I think is one of the remaining, arena football level guys. So apparently operates as somewhat of the XFL's de facto minor league. That's interesting. So he's got a pretty clear route forwards if he still has the flash that he did in college. We'll see what goes on. For now, though, it's very much a dud selection. Next, they have offensive tackle Jaron Christian, and, 46 games, 16 played. He's kind of your average backup offensive lineman. Occasionally he gets plugged in to play a few snaps, or if somebody gets injured, that's when he'll come in. But generally speaking, considering that's how it's been now for 4 different teams, I wouldn't say that he's really any credible threat to become a long-term starter at the position. Then you have safety Troy Apke, and I'm kind of disappointed how this guy turned out. As we see the stat line here, he really hasn't done anything in 3 of his 5 seasons. He appears mostly to be just a low-end backup special teams sort of guy. And it's sad to see, because when he was in college, this was one of the safeties I really liked. He had a very good pursuit to the ball, very good ability to put the ball carrier on the ground, and it just another one that just hasn't really translated to the NFL very well. So I would say there's still a shot that he could break out if some major injury happens, but I don't really see it at this point. I think that his best shot was that third year when he started 7 games and didn't really translate it into very much. So I think that he's seen his chance come and go. Then you have the second nose tackle slash defensive tackle that the Washington selected in the 5th round. That would be Tim Settle. Settle's another one that I didn't really think too highly of, but at the very least, he's kind of turning into a quality backup. You put him on the field, he'll at least do something, so there's that. Yeah, he had 5 sacks for himself in 2020. And that's about what I would expect that he is going to continue to be. The guy that you plug in due to injury or someone needs a breather, and he'll do his job well enough. Maybe pick up a few tackles for loss, might get to the quarterback. Generally you're not suffering too much if he's on the field, but he's not a starter. If someone goes down with a long-term injury, you might see the limitations that this player has. So you might notice that we're going quick here, and that's because really none of this class did very much. Next up, we have Sean Dion Hamilton. This guy's already retired. He's now the on the coaching staff for the Detroit Lions, assistant linebackers coach. And that makes sense to me. He really didn't do a whole lot during his career. I'm actually kind of surprised still labels him as active and the guy's retired. But yeah, this was another one. Solid backup for 3 seasons, then pretty much just hung it up and went on to coaching. And the Lions defense is somewhat helping a bit, so I would say that there's a reasonable chance that he might continue going upwards as long as Detroit keeps heading in the right direction. We have cornerback Greg Stroman, and as far as I know, this is one of the selection that really didn't do anything. I'm kind of surprised he's still in the league. Yeah. Yeah, he's not getting on the field very much. Not doing a whole lot when he is on the field, so he puts up some decent value at the very least, but not really enough for anyone to seriously consider keeping him around. And actually, take a look, just some practice squad stints. Yeah, just not good enough to really keep around. Reserve future contract with the Bears now, so. Last pick was wide receiver Trey Quinn, the Mr. Irrelevant of the 2018 class. And yeah, he was pretty much irrelevant. 35 catches, 273 yards, 2 touchdowns to his name in the NFL. Hasn't been in the NFL outside of practice squad stays since 2020. He's now in, I believe, the USFL for the Michigan Panthers. We'll obviously see how he does down there. I'm not expecting too much. But yeah, this class definitely underperformed what I expected. I really did figure that the first 4 would be pretty good picks, and at least 2 of the last 4 would at least have a shot. Actually, I think I thought 3 of them did. I thought Trey Quinn would have a chance because back then Washington didn't really have any decent receivers. So it turned into just Deron Payne really doing anything. Bunch of quality backup level guys. So I dropped this from the original A I gave it to probably a C-. It would go lower, but you do have those guys that at least offer some value as backups, and you do need backups in this league, you know. Yeah, building a starting lineup is obviously hard enough, but if you're a team that deals with injury problems, obviously you pretty much need a second set of players that could step up and play should somebody go down, and so that's why I end up giving this a C- instead of like a D or D-, because in the end you still got those guys that serve a purpose at least, but just not stars, and stars are obviously what brings the grade up higher. So that's going to do it for today's video. Tomorrow I'll be seeing you for the New York Giants draft class. So subscribe to the channel, like the video, hit the notification bell, follow me on Twitter, which I'm going to start putting in the description, and I will see you tomorrow.